Artemus Toast here, and it's time for another, all kinds of awesome album review. Haven't done one of these in a long time, so let's get right to it. The group that we're talking about today is Kraftwerk. The album is Computer World from 1981. Real quick side note, to all the purists, I know this is the American version. I'm talking about the music. I don't need to hear that, well, the original LP came out in German, I don't care. We're talking about the music and, Kraftwerk, the band in general. Quick disclosure, I've been in the music industry for many years, world's greatest guitarist, session musician on thousands of albums, etc. Until recently, I was never really into electronic music. Wasn't really exposed to it. All the studio work I got was for my shredding skills. Not a lot of calls from electronic bands for guitar session work. So I'm relatively new to Kraftwerk, the group. Although I never really listened to them, they were sampled so many times that, throughout the years, I did hear their music without, actually realizing it. But anyway, back to, Computer World, the album. Right out of the gate, with the title track, it's all kinds of awesome, trademark. In fact, the album and group in general are all kinds of awesome, so that's out of the way. And the reason being is, when I was listening to Computer World again, I was trying to, figure out, why I liked them so much, and, why I thought they were awesome, on a personal, musician level. It's a lot of different things. It's very, very precise. Obviously it's electronic music, but it's also very melodic, and it's a good integration of those things by being very mechanical, very precise. Using sequencers and once again, 4/4 time, everything's, perfect. But once again, at the same time, it's very melodic. They use space very well. They kind of stack the layers, a lot as a song progresses, but it never feels overdone. The transitions are very good. Once again, it's all kinds of awesome. As I said before, they've been sampled so many times, specifically this album. Computer World has been sampled by many genres of music. And that's another thing about, this album. It kind of, obviously it's electronic, but it blends a lot of, genres in different ways. The next track on side one, Computer Love, my favorite track on the album. Once again, very melodic, structured very well, although staying within that 4/4 time, they kind of has some kind of double time parts. Once again, getting back to Kraftwerk as a band, their albums, progress very nicely. Albums from this time period, in general, are always best listened to from front to back, from track one to the last track. And on this album, it progresses very, very nicely. great use of once again the sequencers and you know the drum machines. You know, I do know that they have their own created instruments. I'm not an expert on the group by any means, just a fan. You know, although I am currently working with a group called Random Objects that are heavily inspired by Kraftwerk, and you know, as the producer, you know, I'm implementing and taking inspiration from a lot of their, you know, things, tracks in general. Excuse me. But going back to the album, you know, Pocket Calculator, also a great track. You know, the lyrics translated to English, it was done very, very well, where the, you know, when necessary, the words rhyme. A very good translation from German. Going on the home computer, that's a really great track. You know, it's 6 minutes of awesome. You know, another thing I'd like to say about Kraftwerk's music is, you know, it's great through headphones. It's great in the background. You know, if you just feel like, you know, reading a book or relaxing or you know, playing video games. You know, it's just some background music. You know, it's great to dance to. It's great to fall asleep to. Once again, you know, through headphones, you know, picking up the composition and the layers and the you know, makes it great through headphones. And once again, you know, just even I guess what I'm trying to say is it's great music for almost every occasion or situation. But going back to the album itself, Numbers is a very cool track. You know, simple. You know, I think at least it sounds like a 2-track instrumental part that it just meshes well. Sounds all kinds of awesome. You know, a Computer World 2, you know, basically a slightly altered version of, you know, the opening track, title track, and it's more fun to compute. Not in that particular order with the tracks, I'm just talking about the tracks in general. Once again, you know, sound repetitive. It's all kinds of awesome. You know, I plan on doing a review of The Man Machine in the near future. You see my introduction to, and also my daughter Lil Toast, our introduction, excuse me, to Kraftwerk. I'll put the link below. Autobahn was the first album of theirs I got, just stumbled across it. But that's another all kinds of awesome album review, and Artemus Toast out.